Hello, my friend, and welcome again to CCM Discovery. It's your go to spot for uncovering today's freshest voices in Christian music, inspiring authors, comedians, movers, and shakers that are shaking our industry. We'll also be rediscovering the classic artists who built the foundation of contemporary Christian music as we know it today. I'm your host, Roger St. James, former contemporary Christian music radio DJ, here to guide you through the stories, sounds, and introduce you to the people behind the music that you love. Whether you're a longtime fan or just starting this journey, get ready to dive deep into the hearts, spirit, stories, and inspirational voices of contemporary Christian music. So let's do it together and let's have some fun with this amazing band. And I've been practicing saying their name right, Ignescent. I hope I got that right. And Jennifer and Cole are about to let me know. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay, good, good. I've been practicing that. And I did look it up, and it really has a fantastic meaning. And I'll let you guys share that. I think it's so appropriate once you learn that.
Thanks. Yeah, it means to spark or ignite. So we just want to ignite people's hearts on fire for Jesus through our music. And that's like the whole mission behind Ignescent.
And it does. Your music is and that's what I love about when God put this idea for show on my heart. Um, like we talked about, I was in contemporary Christian music years ago,
Yeah.
back in my son likes to say last century, and I started listening again, and I was just to the big stations, the conglomerate radio stations. And to be honest with you guys, I was bored.
Yeah.
The music was not saying anything to me. It sounded all the same. The voices were the same. So I started diving in to TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and that's where I found you guys. And you guys
Mhm.
have that sound that you have to listen to it. It's just a fantastic sound. And how did you guys land on what you wanted to do? I mean, you guys have been around since 2018 as a band. How did you find each other and get that sound together?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, for me, personally, like I started out really liking pop music. But after, meeting with different musicians and getting influenced by them, I really started liking like metal, hard rock, and rock just because like in the Chicago area and in this area, um, it's very, there's so many metal musicians, metal artists. It's just rock is really big here in the Chicago area. And so because of that, I used to hate like double bass and like the heavy 8-string guitars. I used to not like that, but over time people would say listen to that, and then I just got influenced and I became obsessed with double bass and like heavy music and the guitars. Like I totally kind of turned around what I liked, and I thought, wow, this would be super cool to have this heavy music but with like a melody and kind of a pop, melodic melody, because I love that sort of thing, like Evanescence too, and kind of mixing those together. And so that's kind of like where it came from, the whole idea for the style of music. And then, of course, we wanted to have that message behind it as well. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it started. I also, I'm personally influenced by like Skillet and Flyleaf and those kind of bands, and they're a huge inspiration for what we do as well.
And I see Cole down there laughing in the corner. Cole,
Yeah,
he's your drummer.
yeah.
How did you get involved in this?
Actually, a mutual friend of ours recommended me to Jennifer around October of last year, and I've been with them ever since.
What drew? Do you have the same? I mean, do you have a faith background, or did you just like the band, or was it
Um,
just the idea of the music, or the music and the message that brought you guys together?
Definitely both there. So I do have a background of faith, and right around that time, I had actually just resurrendered my life back over to Jesus, and within just 2 weeks of me praying to God, like, I don't care what it looks like, God, just have your way with my life. Um, like 2 weeks after I broke down and had that moment, Jennifer was reaching out to me to play that. So like I was a metal drummer, like I love the double bass. Like that's why I was laughing
Yeah.
when she was saying that she didn't like it at one point. Um, but yeah, so like with Ignescent being faith-based and heavy on the inspirational and Christian lyrics, like that really drew me to them whenever the opportunity was opened unto me.
That's absolutely amazing how God works like that. It is just so cool. If
Yeah.
you open the door, He's going to run right through. He's going
Yeah,
to grab you and drag you where He needs you to be. I
Yeah.
love it.
definitely.
It's so cool. And you guys, of course, you've opened for Striper and Flyleaf, but you've also opened for secular metal bands. Correct me if
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
wrong, but you guys have
Mhm.
opened for like Megadeth and things like that. What's that like going into a different genre? Just
Yeah,
not genre's not the right word, but a different belief system where you are
right.
going into a place where it might not be as huggy that you're
Right.
used to.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly it's exciting to me to be able to just, love on people who have different beliefs, and maybe, God's bringing some people there that are hurting, and that happens a lot, and we can just, love them. So to me, I love doing that. Everyone honestly has been pretty much super friendly, like in the rock community, outside of the Christian community. I'm talking, people are super friendly. And we've been, well accepted. But and sometimes it's different. Like one club might be different than the other. And I know we had this place. It was in Alabama that we played, and I talked about God, and I thought Alabama, they're going to be fine with this. It's not going to be an issue, like, because it's the South. And then we had two people walk away when I said that, and so I'm like, okay, I was kind of shocked. And then I've maybe talked about God or I have talked about God in a club in the Chicago area, and people were cheering and and talking to us afterwards, and and came up to us and said thank you for for saying those things. And so it's like you never know what's going to happen. Like there's
Mhm.
no, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason. You never know. And it's
Mhm.
really cool that one place to the next day, it could be a different experience. And but I just love to be open, to see what God is going to do through us. And it's fun for me, and it's exciting.
And it definitely helps that you guys really nail it when you're on stage. I mean, that's a big part of it because I can imagine, because when I listen to contemporary Christian music, it doesn't sound like you guys, and that's where I have a problem with the word contemporary because it really, I think when they talk about that on the radio, they shouldn't say contemporary Christian music. They should say AOC,
Mm, yeah,
or yacht rock Christian style,
yeah,
because there's so many varieties and talented musicians that don't play average, radio friendly music,
Mhm.
but your lyrics speak the gospel. It's just in a different way,
uh-huh,
and that's why I'm so glad that you guys get the kind of reception you do because you earn it. You go out there and you're not just going out there to preach. You just play, and I'm really
right.
looking forward to playing your music at the end of the show because I want people to really hear how good you guys are,
Thanks.
and without losing the why you're doing it. And I think
Yeah,
that's quite an accomplishment on your part.
thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
oh no. And of course we have to talk about you making the cover of Pure Media magazine.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yes, I was in shock when I heard that was going to happen. That was just a huge blessing, and it was so cool that they featured like actors from The Chosen too the previous month. And yeah,
Mhm.
so I was not expecting it, but it was a huge blessing.
And it's a great picture, by the way.
Thank you.
And when we're talking about that, we have to mention that currently, right now, Ignescent is number 9 on the rock charts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yep, there it is. We had to put it up there to let everybody see it. And that is just how exciting is that for you? And it's been a long. I mean, granted, it's only been from 2018, but that's still a journey, and to finally
Mhm.
see how it's coming together, that must be
Yeah,
quite a good feeling to know. Like you're answering the call, and finally somebody picked up the phone on the other end. Yeah, so it's
right.
kind of, to see that, and the other people you're on there with, the names, Skillet, you know, um, Striper, and so to be at that level with that pedigree
Mhm.
is pretty cool. I mean, at least for me, I
Mhm.
would be jumping up and down and telling everybody and wearing, "Hey, we're number 9" T-shirts.
Right.
Um, so what? I know we talked a little bit about how you guys got started,
Mhm.
but tell us about the faith journey and how, because I can't imagine it's easy. You guys travel all the time. I mean,
Mhm.
you're stuck in vans and buses, and you have
Mhm.
relationships outside of the band.
Yeah.
And how does that work, family wise, faith wise? Not yelling at each other all the time in the vans.
Right.
And because I really, one of the fascinating things about getting to do this and talking to people like you guys
Yeah.
is the stories. And I don't
Mhm.
think that's what's told enough, because we hear, oh, great, they're number 9, but it took a long time to get there, and
Right.
you had to live the faith and believe in yourself and believe in your bandmates, and
Yeah.
those are the stories that I think people need to hear. How
Yeah.
God rewards the effort. It's not a
Mhm.
blessing that, one day, oh, hey, we formed a band in 2019. Hey, now we're number 9. No, you guys had
Right.
to work for it.
Right.
And what's could just explain what that's like.
Yeah. Um, well, for me, personally, um, before I started Ignescent, I was in a abusive relationship and controlling relationship, where this person didn't want me to pursue this calling on my life, um, and didn't want me to do anything basically. And I thought I was stuck for a long time, and I was in a like a I call it a mental prison at that point. I was a Christian, but I didn't know what to do, and I would just felt stuck, and I was manipulated, and everything, and so I was just in a weird state, and I thought this was the rest of my life. But God did a miracle, and He freed me from that relationship. And as soon as I was free from that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to finally start a band, because I became a Christian when I was 15. I grew up Catholic, and someone shared Christ with me, and I, decided to follow Christ when I was 15. But um, and God gave me the gift of evangelism and all that. But so yeah, I decided after that I was free from that relationship. I decided this is my second chance. I'm going to finally start a band, and I'm going to do what God has called me to do. And so I did that. I started a band, and yeah, it's been quite a journey. I mean, it was just started with just like trying to get our name out there through social media, and booking, ourselves. I would just started book the band myself, and just doing a lot of work, spending hours a day, to try to get our name out there. And of course, I didn't know what I was doing at first because it's just a whole learning experience. But God, He blessed it. He, blessed our efforts, um, yeah, I'm super grateful. Like, opened for Flyleaf, and met Samir of Flyleaf, and got in this conversation with Samir. And I said, "Hey, would you be interested in co-writing a song together?" And he said yes. And so we co-wrote this song that's going to be released on the next album coming out in March 2026. And so it's just like along the way, we met people, and God just, opened up these doors for us. And and went to Germany and played at CBGM Loud and Proud Festival, and met Les Carlson of Bloodgood. And so him and his wife started just talking to us, and saying that they really liked our music. And I had no idea that he was even, him and his wife were even listening to our music, and that they even knew about Ignescent. Like, I was in shock. It was so cool. Um, but they're like, there's not a lot of female led bands in the Christian market. And so that, that kind of drew them, and they listened to it. And so, yeah, so we started talking to Les, and that kind of led to him being featured on our new song, Rock You. And then we just played Immortal Fest in Ohio, and he sang with us on stage. And so it's just been like, over time, one thing after the other, and God just opening doors and blessing us. And it's been really cool to see what he's been doing. And he's been doing so many miracles too, because the labels, they don't pay anymore for travel expenses. And so, we're out there, we're kind of going by faith, honestly, because travel is very expensive, but
Mhm.
we feel like God has called us to do this. And so we're kind of
Yeah.
moving forward, or I shouldn't say kind of, we are moving forward, even when maybe the money or the budget isn't there, and God's been meeting us, and he's been providing and showing up in crazy, crazy cool ways, doing miracles. And, one time we had this couple, like, we didn't think we could go to the next venue because we didn't have the money for travel costs, and this couple came up and bought one of every single merch item, which helped pay for gas and hotel to the next venue. And so, like, things like that, that's not just coincidence, that's God providing. And so, yeah, so it's been super cool, um just to see that. And yeah, and it is, like you were talking about traveling and being in the van together. And, we love what we do. We love meeting people and talking people at the show. We love playing on stage, and, playing rock music is so much fun. But sometimes we get tired. I mean, we get tired, we get
Right.
cranky, because, we're constantly like, sometimes we get to bed so late, and then we have to get up the
Uh,
next day, and then we have to go, and it's like we get tired. But you know what, we give each other grace, God gives us grace.
yep.
And
Yep.
so, yeah.
And let's be fair, Cole. You're the drummer, so you actually do the most work on stage, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
He does.
What's it like being, um, the drummer? You are the heartbeat of the band musically, and what's it like to actually, because you're back behind everything? What's it like to watch that happen in front of you and watch the audience reaction? Because I would imagine you probably have one of the best views. I mean, everybody else is dancing around, moving around, but you get to you have the best seat in the house, basically. I mean, you're working for it, but you have the best seat in the house. Uh, what's it kind of like from your point of view?
I'd say it's pretty cool, but most of the time I'm not even paying attention to all that because I'm just like lost in the zone, like as I'm giving it my all, man. So like,
That was the perfect answer for your boss, who's sitting right across. Actually, I've often wondered that because I've never been in a band. I've been on stage with bands lots of times, so I just wonder:
mhm.
do you guys really know what's happening in the audience? Do you sense it, or are like Cole said, you're just so into what you're doing where you're just flowing? Do you see what's happening in the audience?
I personally do, because I guess, I'm front
Mhm.
in, walking around and all that. And, but sometimes, like Cole said, I get lost in the moment too. And sometimes I'm just, like worshiping God, or just getting into the song, and what it's about. And, um, it can be very like therapeutic, as well. But other times I do, when I'm singing certain songs, I'm kind of, watching to see how people are reacting, and it's fun. It's neat to
Mhm.
see.
What's the one song that you have currently that really takes the audience above it, when they hear that first strain? What's the one that really takes them to that level?
Um, I would say, it seems like lately we have a new song. It's not released yet. It's going to be
Mhm.
released October 16th,
Mhm.
with a music video. But when we started to play Joker at Rockfest, like, people just lit up. They were so excited. They were on fire. It was like electric. It was so cool. So, and I'm like, that song's not even released yet. Like they haven't even heard this song before and they're getting excited. So
Mhm.
for me, that was cool. And then also when we sing You're Not Alone, people seem to be, they're really listening and they seem to get really touched by that song. So in my opinion, I would say those two songs. What do you think, Cole?
I agree with you on those two. I was also gonna say the other new one that we've been doing that's not released yet. And Not Today. I've seen that get a lot of good crowd response, even from the secular world as well. Like I remember at Rockfest, like we played Not Today, and like everybody was like into it and loving it.
That's cool. And it was kind of a leading question, guys, because when you're Jennifer, when you're on there and you're singing and you've got the audience in your hand and they're going crazy and that song's coming up next. So
Yeah.
how what's that like for you knowing I got him now, but just wait, boys, wait,
Yeah.
wait another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I got to imagine
Yeah.
that's kind of a cool feeling. It's like, oh, you think you're having fun now? Here we go.
Right. Right. It is. It's a fun feeling. It's just, yeah. When they were, yeah, when that's coming up and they're gonna get excited and then when you see, them getting into it in their faces, it's just you feed off of that and then you get excited
Mhm.
and it's like this
Yep.
like big energy ball. It's like so fun.
Yeah, that's what I love about live bands is because the energy in the room, and when they're feeling it and you're feeling it, it just
Yeah.
takes you to a whole different level.
Yeah.
And especially at the talent level you guys are and the energy you play with all the time, it's just so people need to go see you guys and just feel that because it's so. I mean, I can feel it through the videos, your live videos especially.
Oh,
So it's
awesome.
just got to be so much. Obviously you can tell I always wanted to be in a band. I never made it work. That's why I got into radio. So
Oh,
it's just so exciting to see bands like you guys, and that's why I just love that I'm getting God's letting me do this because it's just so exciting to hear
thanks.
how excited you are and how much you love it and how much you're doing it for the right reasons. You're not there's no ego here.
Yeah.
It's all about you know answering the call,
Yeah.
and you guys are doing that at a level that is amazing. Now you said
Thank you.
you do have that new album coming out next March, right?
Yeah.
And so in have you been playing anything off of that, or I think you mentioned maybe one or two songs off of that, and getting a good response.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we've been playing Joker, which this, like I said, the single is coming out October. It's on the album, but we're releasing a music video for it. And yeah, Joker has been getting a really good response at the shows. So it's, it's so fun to see that. It's like because it's crazy because they've never heard of it before because it's not even out. So I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, yeah, people are liking it. It's just awesome to see that.
That's great. And as I was going through your bio, you mentioned that one of the things you like to talk about is your music is a hope for people who are suffering from anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
Now you touched on, and I'm not going to ask you to dive too deeply into it, but what put that on your heart to make that part of your message and part of your, let's be honest with it, part of the ministry you guys do.
Mhm. Um, well, because I struggle with that and I've been through a lot of um hard times in my life and which, caused anxiety, caused depression and I know a lot of people, probably most everyone struggle with that and it's not always talked about and so I just want to be out there with that so people can see that we need to process this together. It's not something that should be hidden. We should be out and talking about it because I believe when we talk about it and bring things out in the open and into light, that there's healing in that. And I know when I see other people talking about certain things that I'm struggling with, that really helps me. And so I want to, be that person that's bringing that up. And so other people can be like, okay, it's not just me dealing with that. I'm not crazy. I'm not alone. I just want them to know that there's hope in, God loves them, and life, life isn't perfect. And, we all struggle with those hopeless feelings of depression and doubt, and those really hard thoughts. So I just I just thought that's something that needs to be said and needs to be talked about, and hopefully our music and talking about that encourages people and gives them hope.
And it also, because you talk about how it's affected you personally,
Mhm,
the people that are also going through it can see you on stage saying
mhm,
that you can, even though you're going through this, you can still find joy.
Right.
mhm,
You can still, your walk might not be what you want it to be and what you're feeling right now, but if you're walking with God, there's still joy there. You can still find
mhm.
hope. You can still find fun,
Yeah,
and that there's nothing wrong with you.
right,
So just hang in there, talk to people, listen to great music,
right,
and know that no matter how dark it is, there's always a light. You can just turn on a light somewhere, and and
definitely.
Yeah.
and that's why you guys are just. I'm so happy that I got this opportunity to speak with you because I was hoping it was going to be this fun.
Oh,
And it's great when you get, they say you should, never meet your heroes,
right.
but when you get to talk to people
Yeah.
that you respect before you say, hey, and then you find out that not only are you extremely real,
Mhm,
Mhm.
but you're walking the walk, you're talking the talk, and you're answering the call. And that's one of the things that we've noticed on this show is we call it God's hand on your shoulder. And as you step back, as I step back in the case of what we've been talking about here, is I can see it when you were going through that before, and God kind of nudged you away from that. He said, "Okay, we'll get you going this way." And then you started. He had his hand on your shoulder, and he led you towards the band, and towards the band members. And then the perfect example is, okay, we got to get to this next gig. All right, I'm going to go reach over here. I still got my hand on your shoulders, so I'm going to put my
Mhm.
hand on this couple's shoulders over
Mhm.
here and bring them over here
mhm.
because they need to buy one of everything on your table.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
it's
So
pretty awesome.
it's great that you're sharing these stories, and that's what I want people to hear. Struggles are, everybody's got struggles,
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
and how you don't let them tear you apart. You don't let them get you down. It's okay to be down,
right.
but the fact that you have that faith and you have that hope, and you want to share it, and it's not just on you. You're getting it back from your fans. You're getting it back from Cole. You're
Mhm.
getting it back from your other band members,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and and it has to be a community. And
Yeah,
I think you guys are really proving that, and especially in today's world with what's going on. We all know
yeah,
what happened. And
right.
now's not a time to divide. Now's a time to just pull together,
Yeah,
and we can do this if we all work together.
yes.
And that's the end of my soapbox, I promise.
No, I 100% agree. I 100%
Mhm.
agree.
Something we like to do before we wrap up here is, my youngest son Matthew is profoundly autistic,
Uh,
and we use timers with him. And some time ago, he decided that anytime we added a time, he wanted to add 9 seconds to it.
oh,
So I have this little, because we discovered you can do a lot in 9 seconds. You can say a lot in 9 seconds. So what
uh-huh.
we have here is we call Matthew's 9 seconds of wisdom.
Ah,
So I'm gonna ask you, Jennifer, for 9 seconds, and I don't use a timer, so don't feel pressure.
okay.
and I'm gonna ask and I'm gonna ask you, Cole, for 9 seconds of wisdom to the people who are listening, and just take this opportunity to whatever comes to your heart.
Okay. Um, yeah, I would say put God first in your life, follow him, love people, and do what he has called you to do. We only have one life, so live it to your fullest.
Cole.
Seek first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, before we jump into your song, Not Today, any stories you want to tell us about it?
Um, with Not Today, yeah, that was super, super cool. I at one point I was living in Tennessee, but we moved back to Chicago. But so I had reached out to Josiah Prince of Disciple to see if he wanted to co-write a song, and I had this, melody, Not Today, Satan, and I sent it to him, and to my surprise, he messaged me back, and he's like, "Yeah, that's really catchy. Let's get together and write a song together." So yeah, we got to go to Nashville and work with him, co-write with him, and recorded it. And then we had asked Kevin Young of Disciple to be featured on it, and I thought he was going to say no, but he said yes. And then and then we asked him if he would be in the music video, and he said yes. And it was just, and I'm a huge fan of Disciple, so this for me, and I know all of us love Disciple in the band too, but it was really cool, like, just the whole thing and how it came together. And then Billy Gray of Fozzy was featured in the music video too. And just, yeah, and we got to work with JT Ibanez. He's worked with like Seven Dust and on the video, so we went to St. Louis. But just the whole thing came together so amazingly. It was awesome. And the whole message of not giving up hope, not giving in to what Satan wants for us. And he wants all the worst for us. And just the message of not giving into Satan, following God with our lives, and God will take care of it. But so that's more about that song, Not Today, Satan.
Well, Jennifer Cole, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. It has been a great pleasure for me, and I'm so excited to let people hear Not Today. So thank you so much. God bless you guys. Thank you for being there. Thank you for answering the call. And don't hesitate to reach out before March 2026. And, and, and I'm really looking forward to hearing whatever you guys do. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.